Have you ever felt like certain people in your life just don't value you? Have you ever wondered why you always end up feeling undervalued and undervalued? In this video, we're going to reveal the 12 subtle yet powerful behaviors that show someone doesn't value you, and the number 7 will surprise you. If you've ever doubted your own worth because of how others treat you, this video is for you. Stay until the end to find out how to identify and free yourself from these toxic attitudes. Imagine you're going through a difficult time and need emotional support. It can be something as simple as someone listening to you or offering you a shoulder to cry on. However, this person is always busy, doesn't respond to your messages, or when they do, they quickly change the subject without giving you a chance to vent. This behavior shows a lack of consideration and empathy towards what you are going through. Healthy and valuable relationships are based on reciprocity and mutual support. When someone ignores your needs, it breaks this balance. For example, if you're always the one who has to adjust your schedule to accommodate the other person, but it's never reciprocated, this indicates a lack of interest in your well-being and time. It can also manifest itself in more everyday things, such as your preferences and tastes. If you're constantly forced to do things you don't enjoy because the other person never bothers to ask or consider what you want, it's a sign that your needs aren't being valued. Think about how many times you've had to watch a movie you don't like, go to a restaurant you don't enjoy, or engage in activities that you find unpleasant simply because the other person never cares about your desires. A lack of attention to your needs can have a significant impact on your self-esteem and emotional well-being. Over time, you may start to feel like your wants and needs aren't important, or that you're being too picky, when in reality, all you're asking for is the respect and consideration you deserve. This type of treatment can lead you to doubt your own worth and accept unbalanced and unhealthy relationships. It's critical to recognize these behaviors and understand that you deserve better. It is not about expecting others to read your mind, but about expecting a basic reciprocity in attention and care. If someone continually ignores your needs, it's a clear indication that they don't value you as they should. You deserve to surround yourself with people who appreciate and respect you, and who are willing to listen and attend to your needs as much as you are theirs. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have, and how the people in our lives respect or disrespect our time can say a lot about how much they value us. When someone doesn't respect your time, they're sending you a clear message that they don't consider you enough to take your needs and priorities into account. Imagine that you have a meeting with someone and that person is constantly late, without any valid apology. Not only is this behavior disrespectful, but it also indicates that the person doesn't value your time, and by extension, you. They are saying in a roundabout way that their time and activities are more important than yours. This attitude can be especially hurtful when you've made an effort to be on time and organized your day around that encounter. Another common example is when someone cancels plans at the last minute without a justified reason, or worse, doesn't show up at all. You've set aside your time for that person, possibly sacrificing other activities or commitments, only to be left standing up. This lack of consideration can make you feel underestimated and unimportant. In addition, there are situations where people constantly interrupt your work or activities for no urgent reason, expecting you to stop what you are doing to attend to their needs. This attitude shows a lack of respect for your agenda and priorities. It forces you to reorganize your time, often causing stress and delays in your own projects and responsibilities. Respect for time also manifests itself in how people handle conversations and interactions with you. For example, if someone always monopolizes the conversation, not giving you a chance to speak or constantly interrupting you, they are showing a lack of consideration for your perspective and time of expression. This type of behavior can make you feel ignored and belittled, as if your words and thoughts aren't important enough to be heard. In work environments, not respecting someone's time can have serious implications. Coworkers or bosses who expect you to work overtime without warning or consideration for your personal life are showing a lack of respect for your time. This behavior can lead to burnout and negatively affect your work-life balance. The importance of respecting the time of others lies in the understanding that time is a non-renewable resource. Once it's gone, it can't be recovered. Valuing someone's time is a way to show that you value that person and their contribution to your life. When someone doesn't respect your time, it can affect your emotional well-being and self-esteem, making you feel like your needs and priorities aren't important. It's crucial to recognize these behaviors and set clear boundaries. It's not just about demanding punctuality, but asking for the respect you deserve as an individual. Surrounding yourself with people who value your time and effort is essential to building healthy, balanced relationships. These people understand that mutual respect is the foundation of any meaningful interaction and strive to show thoughtfulness in their actions. Minimizing your accomplishments is a subtle but deeply harmful behavior that can significantly affect your self-esteem and perception of your own worth. When someone consistently belittles your successes, they are sending the message that your efforts and accomplishments are not important or worthy of recognition. This behavior can manifest itself in a variety of ways and have a lasting impact on how you see yourself and how you value your own abilities and accomplishments. Imagine you've worked hard to get a promotion at work or to complete an important project. You're proud of your accomplishment and eager to share the news with the people around you. However, instead of receiving congratulations and support, you are met with responses such as, "It's not that big of a deal," "Anyone could have done it," or "I don't understand why you're making such a fuss about it." These responses trivialize your effort and make you feel like your accomplishments aren't worthy of celebration. Over time, these types of reactions can cause you to start doubting your abilities and minimizing your own successes. Another common example is when someone diverts the conversation to their own accomplishments instead of acknowledging yours. For example, you share that you've finished a race, and instead of congratulating you, the other person says something like, "Oh, I ran a marathon last year, it was a lot harder." This unsolicited comparison not only detracts from your accomplishment, but also suggests that there is always something bigger or better than what you've done, thus diminishing your sense of pride and satisfaction. Minimizing your accomplishments can also come in the form of passive-aggressive comments. Phrases like, "I didn't expect anything less from you," or "I knew you would make it, it's not a surprise," may seem like compliments at first glance, but in reality, they detract from your effort and make you feel like your achievements were inevitable and therefore less valuable. This attitude can make you feel trapped in a trap where, no matter what you do, it's never good enough to receive genuine recognition. Constantly minimizing your accomplishments can erode your self-esteem and self-confidence. When your efforts aren't validated, you can start to internalize the idea that you're not good enough or that you don't deserve recognition. This can lead you to avoid taking on new challenges for fear of not receiving support or feeling like your efforts will be in vain. In addition, a lack of recognition can make you feel disconnected from the people around you, creating a sense of isolation and worthlessness. It's important to surround yourself with people who celebrate your successes and encourage you to keep going. Recognition and validation are critical to maintaining healthy self-esteem and a positive perception of your own abilities. You deserve to be in an environment where your accomplishments are recognized and celebrated, and where your efforts are valued. Identifying and distancing yourself from those who minimize your achievements is a crucial step in protecting your emotional well-being and maintaining a balanced and positive perception of yourself. To counteract the minimization of your achievements, it's essential that you learn to recognize and celebrate your own successes, even if others don't. Keep track of your accomplishments and remember that every step forward, no matter how small it may seem, is worthy of recognition. Surround yourself with people who support you and value you for who you are and what you've accomplished. Acknowledging your own worth and seeking the right support will allow you to maintain strong and resilient self-esteem, regardless of the attitude of others. When someone doesn't listen to you, you're not only being ignored in the moment, but they're also sending you a clear message that your thoughts, feelings, and opinions aren't important enough to deserve their attention. A lack of active listening can manifest itself in a variety of ways, and each of them has a profound impact on the quality of your relationships and your own emotional well-being. One of the most common examples of a lack of active listening is constant interruption. Imagine you're sharing an important experience or your feelings about a topic, and the person you're talking to repeatedly interrupts you to tell their own stories or change the subject. This behavior indicates that they are not interested in what you have to say, but are more focused on themselves and their own speech. Frequent interruptions not only frustrate communication, but they can also make you feel like your words are worthless and unworthy of being heard. Another example is the obvious distraction during the conversation. Maybe you're talking to someone who is constantly checking their phone, looking away, or seems to be thinking about something else. This lack of attention shows disinterest and disregard for what you are saying. Distraction can be particularly painful when you're sharing something personal or important, and it makes you feel like you're not a priority for the other person. This attitude can lead you to emotionally shut down and avoid sharing your thoughts and feelings in the future, as you feel that they will not be received with the respect and attention they deserve. A lack of appropriate responses is also a sign that someone isn't actively listening to you. If you share your concerns or emotions and receive answers that are vague, indifferent, or unrelated to what you've said, it's a clear sign that the other person isn't really engaged in the conversation. For example, if you talk about a problem that worries you, and the response you receive is a simple "aha" or "how interesting" without any follow-up, it makes you feel that your interlocutor is not processing or valuing what you are sharing. In addition, invalidating your feelings and opinions is an insidious form of active dislistening. This occurs when you express your emotions or views, and the other person minimizes, ridicules, or dismisses them. Comments like "you're exaggerating," "that's not that important," or "you shouldn't feel that way" not only show a lack of listening, but also invalidate your emotional experience. This attitude can be especially harmful, as not only do you feel unheard, but you also begin to question the legitimacy of your own feelings and perceptions. In a healthy and balanced conversation, both parties feel heard and valued. Active listening involves paying attention, responding appropriately, and showing empathy toward the other person. When someone doesn't listen to you, you feel disconnected and devalued, which can erode your self-esteem and trust in your relationships. A lack of active listening can create an emotional barrier between you and others, leading you to feel isolated and lonely, even when you're surrounded by people. It's crucial to identify these behaviors and take steps to protect your emotional well-being. If you find yourself in situations where you're not being heard, it can be helpful to set clear boundaries and communicate your needs assertively. For example, you could say something like, "I'd like you to listen to me without interruption," or "I need you to pay attention when I'm talking about something important to me." In addition, it is important to surround yourself with people who value you and are willing to actively listen. Relationships based on mutual respect and empathy are critical to your emotional health and overall well-being. Learning to recognize and respond to a lack of active listening will allow you to protect yourself emotionally and foster healthier, more fulfilling relationships. You deserve to be heard and valued, and you shouldn't settle for less. Surround yourself with people who respect you and make you feel important. And don't hesitate to seek support if you feel like your communication needs aren't being met. The absence of someone at critical moments in your life reveals a profound lack of appreciation and consideration for you. When the people who are supposed to support you aren't there at the times when you need them most, it shows that they don't consider you a priority. This absence can manifest itself in many ways, from not being physically present to not offering emotional support. And each of these has a significant impact on your well-being and your perception of your own worth. Imagine going through a major event or personal crisis, such as the loss of a loved one, an illness, or even a moment of celebration such as a professional achievement. At this time, having the support of your loved ones is crucial. However, when they don't show up, don't call, or show any interest in what you're going through, the message is clear. You're not a priority for them. This lack of support can make you feel incredibly lonely and helpless, amplifying the pain or joy of the moment due to a lack of people to share it with. Absence does not always refer to physical presence. It can be emotional, such as when someone is not available to listen to you or provide comfort when you need it. For example, if you find yourself in a stressful situation and seek support from a friend or loved one, but they are too busy or distracted to offer you their time and attention, this indifference can be equally devastating. Feeling like your emotions aren't important enough to be addressed can erode your self-esteem and make you question your own worth. In addition, a lack of presence can manifest itself in someone's inability or unwillingness to go the extra mile at important moments. For example, you might need help moving to a new home, support during a medical recovery, or just companionship on a difficult day. When the people in your life find constant excuses for not being there or not going the extra mile, they're showing that they don't consider your well-being a priority. This lack of effort and commitment is not only disappointing, but it can also lead to a sense of abandonment and devaluation. Absence at critical moments can also be particularly painful in intimate and family relationships. These are the links that, in theory, should be the strongest and most supportive. When people close to you fail to be present when you need them most, it can cause a deep emotional wound. Not only does this wound affect your relationship with them, but it can also impact your ability to trust and depend on others in the future. The feeling of being left alone in times of need can lead to emotional isolation and the construction of protective barriers around your heart. On the other hand, constant presence and unconditional support are indicative of a healthy and appreciative relationship. Knowing that you can count on someone in any circumstance reinforces your sense of security and self-worth. People who are there for you at critical moments show with their actions that they value you and that they consider your well-being a priority. This kind of support strengthens emotional bonds and creates a solid foundation of trust and mutual respect. It is essential to surround yourself with people who are willing to be present at the critical moments of your life. Recognizing the importance of presence and mutual support in relationships will allow you to identify which ones are truly valuable and which ones may be harming your emotional well-being. You don't have to accept the lack of presence and support as normal. You deserve to surround yourself with people who value you enough to be there when you need them most. Learning to set boundaries and communicate your needs is also key to handling these situations. Don't hesitate to express what you need and expect the people in your life to respond with the same consideration and support that you give them. If you find that someone is consistently not present when you need them, it may be necessary to reevaluate that relationship and consider whether it is beneficial to your emotional well-being. You deserve to be surrounded by people who value you and are willing to show it through their presence and constant support. Constant and destructive criticism can have a profoundly negative effect on your self-esteem and emotional well-being. When someone continually criticizes you, they're not only pointing out aspects of you that they feel are lacking, but they're also undermining your confidence and eroding your sense of self-worth. This type of behavior can manifest itself in a variety of ways, from subtle and sarcastic comments to direct and humiliating attacks, and each of these can leave lasting emotional scars. Imagine being in a relationship where your efforts are never enough. Whatever you do, there's always something wrong. If you cook a meal, they tell you it's not good enough. If you put effort into your job, you're told you should do better. This constant criticism creates an environment where you feel perpetually inadequate, no matter how hard you try. Over time, this dynamic can lead to a significant loss of self-esteem as you begin to internalize criticism and believe that you are indeed not good enough. Destructive criticism doesn't just focus on your actions, but it often attacks your character and personality. Comments like, "You always mess everything up," "You never do anything right," or "You're so useless," are not only hurtful, but they also reinforce a negative narrative about who you are as a person. This type of language can be devastating, as it makes you question your intrinsic worth and can lead to a very negative self-perception. When this criticism comes from someone close to you, such as a family member, partner, or friend, the impact is even more profound because these people have a privileged place in your life, and their opinions carry considerable weight. In addition, constant criticism creates an environment of fear and anxiety. You live with the constant anticipation of being criticized, which can lead you to a state of hypervigilance and chronic stress. This situation can cause you to become extremely self-critical and start censoring your own actions and words in an attempt to avoid criticism. However, this effort is often in vain, as people who constantly criticize often always find something to point out, no matter how hard you try to please them. The effect of destructive criticism extends beyond the relationship itself, affecting other areas of your life as well. It can impact your job performance as you begin to doubt your abilities. It can affect your relationships with other people, as you carry with you the fear of being judged and rejected. It can even influence your physical health, as constant stress and anxiety can manifest in problems such as insomnia, headaches, digestive problems, and increased susceptibility to diseases. It is important to distinguish between constructive and destructive criticism. Constructive criticism, while it may be hard to hear, is designed to help you grow and improve. They focus on specific actions and offer solutions or suggestions for change. On the other hand, destructive criticism is vague, generalized, and does not offer any useful guidance. Their goal is not to help you improve, but rather to undermine your confidence and control you. Acknowledging that you're being subjected to destructive criticism is the first step to protecting yourself. It's crucial to set clear boundaries and communicate your needs. You can say something like, "I appreciate you wanting to help me get better, but the constant feedback is hurting me. I need support and encouragement to be able to grow." If the person continues with their behavior, it may be necessary to reconsider the relationship and seek support from other people who value you and treat you with the respect you deserve. Seeking external support is also essential. Talking to friends, family, or a therapist can help you process criticism and rebuild your self-esteem. Surrounding yourself with people who value you and offer constructive criticism and positive support is essential to healing and strengthening your sense of self-worth. Constant comparisons with other people can have a devastating effect on your self-esteem and perception of your own worth. When someone constantly compares you to others, whether it's friends, family, coworkers, or even public figures, they're sending you a message that you're not good enough just the way you are. Not only is this type of behavior unfair, but it can also lead to a downward spiral of insecurity and self-doubt. Imagine that. No matter what you accomplish or how hard you try, there is always someone else who presents themselves as the standard to follow. It can be a sibling who always seems to be more successful, a friend who always seems to have a more exciting life, or a coworker who always gets more recognition. Every time you are compared to these people, your own achievements and efforts are minimized. For example, you might receive comments like, "Why can't you be more like your brother?" Or, "Look how your friend always has his life under control." These comparisons implicitly say that as you are not enough. The negative impact of these comparisons extends to many aspects of your life. First, they can erode your self-confidence. When you're constantly made to feel like you're not meeting the standards that others are supposed to be up to, you begin to doubt your own abilities and abilities. This self-doubt can make you feel inadequate and insecure, affecting your performance in various areas of your life, from your work to your personal relationships. In addition, constant comparisons can lead to resentment and hostility towards the people they compare you to. Instead of admiring or learning from them, you can start to see them as rivals or threats. Not only is this resentment unfair to them, but it also prevents you from forming genuine, healthy connections. Instead of feeling inspired by the accomplishments of others, you feel threatened and diminished, which can lead to a cycle of competition and negativity. Constant comparison can also affect your emotional well-being significantly. It can lead to feelings of envy, jealousy, and bitterness. When you're constantly comparing yourself to others, it's easy to fall into the trap of focusing on what you don't have instead of appreciating what you do have. This negative focus can lead to a distorted view of your own life, where you always seem to be missing something, regardless of what you accomplish. This can result in chronic dissatisfaction and an inability to enjoy and celebrate your own successes. Comparisons can also impact your relationships with others. If you constantly feel like you're being judged and compared, you can start to isolate yourself and avoid social situations. The fear of not being up to par can make you avoid taking risks or trying new things, limiting your personal and professional growth. In addition, the pressure to be compared can lead you to develop a perfectionist attitude, where you feel that any mistake or imperfection is unacceptable. This perfectionism can be exhausting and can prevent you from enjoying the process and learning that comes with mistakes. To counteract the negative impact of comparisons, it is essential to develop strong self-esteem and an appreciation for your own achievements and unique characteristics. One way to do this is to practice gratitude and focus on what you've accomplished and what makes you special. Surround yourself with people who support and value you for who you are, not how you compare to others. Setting personal goals based on your own values and aspirations, rather than trying to meet the standards of others, can also help you maintain a healthy and positive outlook. It is important to remember that each person has their own path, and that comparisons are not fair or helpful. We all face different challenges and have different strengths. Comparing yourself to others is not only unfair to you, but it is also a distraction from your own growth and development. By focusing on your own goals and accomplishments, and valuing your own experiences and abilities, you can build a strong and resilient self-esteem, immune to destructive comparisons. Celebrating successes, both big and small, is a critical part of any healthy and supportive relationship. When someone doesn't celebrate your accomplishments, they're sending a clear message that they don't consider your successes worthy of recognition. Not only can this lack of celebration demotivate you, but it can also erode your self-esteem and perception of your own worth. Imagine working hard to reach an important goal. It could be a promotion at work, the completion of a significant project, or even a personal accomplishment like improving your health or learning a new skill. You feel proud and excited about what you've accomplished, and you look forward to sharing that joy with the people you care about. However, instead of receiving congratulations and support, you are met with indifference or derogatory comments such as, "It's not that bad," or, "Well, what's next?" This reaction can be extremely discouraging and make you question whether your effort is really worth it. A lack of celebration of your accomplishments can have a profound impact on your motivation and ability to keep going. When your successes are not recognized, it is easy to lose the motivation to strive and achieve new goals. You start to wonder why you should keep trying if no one seems to value what you do. This lack of recognition can lead to a decrease in your enthusiasm and a sense of apathy towards your own goals and dreams. In addition, the absence of celebration can affect your self-esteem significantly. External validation isn't the only way to build self-esteem, but recognition and support from those close to you play a big role in how you see yourself. When your accomplishments aren't celebrated, you may begin to doubt your own worth and feel like you don't deserve recognition. This can lead to a downward spiral of insecurity and self-doubt, where you find it increasingly difficult to see the value in your own efforts. Celebrating accomplishments is not only important for the person who has reached the goal, but also for strengthening relationships. Celebrating together creates a sense of connection and mutual support. It's a way to show that you care about the other person and that you're happy about their successes. When someone doesn't celebrate your accomplishments, they're failing to show this kind of support and connection. This lack of celebration can lead to a sense of disconnection and the perception that the relationship isn't as strong or meaningful as you thought. Indifference to your successes can also lead to resentment and frustration. If you constantly feel like your accomplishments are being ignored or minimized, it's natural to start feeling resentful toward the people who should be supporting you. This resentment can build up over time and cause tensions in the relationship, negatively affecting communication and emotional connection. To counteract the negative effects of a lack of celebration, it's important to surround yourself with people who value and recognize your accomplishments. Look for friends, family, and colleagues who genuinely rejoice in your successes and who support you in your endeavors. Not only will these people help you feel valued and appreciated, but they will also provide you with the support and motivation needed to keep going and reach new goals. In addition, it is crucial to learn to celebrate your own successes. You can't always control how others react, but you can control how you treat yourself. Take the time to recognize and celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. Recognize the effort and dedication you've put into achieving your goals and allow yourself to be proud of what you've accomplished. This self-celebration will help you build strong self-esteem and keep you motivated and focused on your goals. When someone uses you for their own gain, it demonstrates a lack of respect and consideration for you as an individual. This type of behavior is characterized by the exploitation of your time, skills, resources, or emotions without genuine reciprocity. People who act this way are more interested in what they can get from you than in building an equitable and respectful relationship. This harnessing can manifest itself in a variety of ways, and each can have a significant impact on your emotional well-being and the quality of your relationships. One of the most obvious behaviors of taking advantage of it is when someone constantly asks you for favors without offering anything in return. Imagine a friend who always asks you to drive them, help them with their work, or support them emotionally through difficult times, but is never available when you need something. This imbalance in the relationship reveals that your friend values what you can do for them more than the relationship itself. Over time, this dynamic can become exhausting and make you feel used and devalued. Another sign of leverage is when someone contacts you only when they need something. These people may disappear for long periods of time and reappear only when they need your help. For example, a colleague who only talks to you when they need assistance with a project, or an acquaintance who only contacts you when they need money or a favor. This behavior shows that they are not interested in maintaining a genuine connection with you, but instead see you as a means to meet their needs. Leveraging can also be emotional. People who take advantage of you emotionally may manipulate your feelings to get what they want. This can include making you feel guilty if you don't comply with their demands or exaggerating their problems to get your sympathy and help. This type of emotional manipulation is especially harmful, as it makes you feel responsible for the other person's well-being while neglecting your own needs and boundaries. The constant pressure to be emotionally available can lead to significant emotional exhaustion and a feeling of being trapped in a toxic relationship. In addition, some people may take advantage of you in professional or academic contexts. For example, a colleague who constantly asks you to cover their work, take on additional projects, or take on responsibilities that don't really belong to you. Although they may present it as an opportunity for you, in reality, they are delegating their tasks without offering you proper recognition or compensation. Not only is this labor exploitation unfair, but it can also impede your own professional growth and development, as you are investing time and energy in tasks that do not directly benefit you. Financial leverage is another common behavior. This can include asking you for money with a promise to pay it back and never doing it, or expecting you to always pay for outings and activities without any intention of giving back. Not only is this dynamic financially and emotionally draining, but it can also lead to significant financial problems if you continue to bear the costs without receiving anything in return. To protect yourself from exploitation, it is crucial to set clear boundaries and communicate your needs and expectations assertively. Don't be afraid to say no when you feel like you're being asked too much or that there's no reciprocity in the relationship. It's important to remember that a healthy relationship is based on mutual respect and a balance between giving and receiving. If you constantly feel used, chances are the relationship isn't healthy for you. It's also helpful to evaluate your relationships and consider whether the people in your life really value you for who you are or just what you can offer them. Surrounding yourself with people who genuinely respect and value you will help you build a supportive environment where you can grow and thrive. Don't be afraid to distance yourself from those who don't respect your boundaries and who only seek to take advantage of you. Seeking external support is also essential. Talking with friends, family, or a therapist can help you process your experiences and develop strategies to manage the use. These conversations can offer valuable insights and help you build your self-esteem, which is essential for setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. Disrespect for your opinions is a subtle but harmful form of invalidation that can profoundly affect your self-esteem and emotional well-being. When someone doesn't respect your opinions, they're telling you that your thoughts and feelings aren't important or valid. This behavior can manifest itself in many ways, from constantly interrupting and minimizing your ideas to open contempt and mockery. Each of these actions has a significant impact on how you perceive yourself and your ability to express yourself freely. One of the most common examples of disrespect for your opinions is constant interruption. Imagine you're in a conversation and every time you try to get your point across, the other person interrupts you to impose their own opinion. Not only is this behavior frustrating, but it also indicates that the other person doesn't value what you have to say. Constant interruption can make you feel invisible and insignificant, as it seems like your words don't deserve to be heard. Another example is when someone minimizes or dismisses your ideas in a derogatory way. For example, you might share a suggestion at work or an opinion on a personal topic, and the response you get is a comment like, "That's silly," or "You don't know what you're talking about." This kind of reaction not only discredits your ideas, but also undermines your confidence in your ability to contribute in a meaningful way. Over time, the constant minimization of your opinions can lead you to doubt your own perceptions and feel like you have nothing valuable to offer. Teasing and outright contempt are even more direct forms of disrespect. If someone makes fun of your opinions or ridicules them in front of others, they are demonstrating a complete disregard for your perspective. This behavior is humiliating and can make you feel ashamed of your own ideas. Public teasing can be especially harmful, as it not only affects your self-esteem, but it can also change the perception others have of you, making you feel isolated and belittled. The invalidation of your opinions can also happen in more subtle ways, through a lack of recognition or attention. For example, you might be at a family or work gathering where you express your ideas, and no one seems to be paying attention. People may ignore what you say or change the subject without responding to your comments. This indifference can be just as harmful as outright mockery, as it makes you feel like your thoughts are not worthy of consideration. The impact of disrespect for your opinions can be profound and long-lasting. On a personal level, it can erode your self-esteem and self-confidence. When your opinions are constantly dismissed or ridiculed, it's easy to start believing that they're invalid or unimportant. This self-doubt can affect your ability to make decisions and to advocate for your own interests and needs. In the professional field, disrespect for your opinions can limit your growth and development. If you feel that your ideas are not valued, you may feel unmotivated to contribute and actively participate. This can lead to lower job satisfaction and a decrease in your performance and creativity. In addition, disrespect for your opinions at work can affect your relationships with colleagues and superiors, creating a hostile and uncooperative work environment. In personal relationships, disrespecting your opinions can create an unbalanced and damaging power dynamic. If your friends, family, or partner don't value your thoughts and feelings, you may feel trapped in a relationship where your needs aren't recognized or met. This lack of reciprocity and respect can lead to a sense of loneliness and isolation, even when you're surrounded by people. To protect yourself from the negative effects of disrespect for your opinions, it's important to set clear boundaries and communicate your needs assertively. Don't be afraid to express how you feel when someone dismisses your ideas and to ask for the respect you deserve. Surround yourself with people who value and respect your opinions and who are willing to listen to you and consider you genuinely. It's also helpful to develop strong self-esteem and confidence in your own ideas. Remember that your opinions are valid and that you have the right to express them. Practicing self-affirmation and surrounding yourself with a supportive environment can help you maintain your confidence and resist external invalidation. Seeking outside support, such as talking to friends, family, or a therapist, can also be beneficial in processing your experiences and strengthening your self-esteem. Making yourself feel unfairly guilty is an emotional manipulation tactic that can have devastating effects on your emotional well-being and relationships. People who employ this strategy do so in order to control, manipulate, and maintain a position of power over you. These manipulative tactics can be subtle or direct, but in either case, they leave you with a constant sense of guilt and self-doubt that affects your self-esteem and your ability to make decisions autonomously. One of the most common ways people make you feel guilty is through victimization. This occurs when someone consistently presents themselves as the victim of all circumstances, regardless of their own responsibility. For example, you might have a friend or partner who always seems to be in trouble and who, in some way, always blames others for their misfortunes. If you are not available to help them at any time, they accuse you of not caring about them or of being selfish. This emotional manipulation makes you feel responsible for their well-being, even when their problems aren't your fault, and leaves you with a constant sense of inadequacy. Another common tactic is the use of sacrifice. Manipulative people often exaggerate or make up the sacrifices they've made for you to make you feel guilty for not reciprocating in kind. For example, they might constantly remind you of times they've done something for you, regardless of whether those acts were necessary or if you asked for them. They may say things like, "I've done so much for you, and this is what I get in return," or, "After everything I've done, how can you do this to me?" This approach puts you in a position where you feel compelled to reciprocate, even if it means compromising your own boundaries and needs. If you found this content useful and want to learn more about how to transform your life, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Your support helps us continue to share valuable information for your personal growth.